Good morning. I'm so glad you're with me today. We're reading, as we always do, from the daily lectionary. We read from the daily lectionary because it takes us out of our own choices of, what do I feel like reading today? What passage is going to speak to me? It connects us instead with the larger church. Because so many people around the world have this daily lectionary as their resource. So many daily services of churches around the world are based on this daily lectionary. So it connects us with other people. We can think about all the other people who are reading this passage. And God is using this passage to speak to all of us in different ways. This passage will hit each one of us a little differently. I think that's wonderful. Today I'd like to read from the Gospel of Mark. The passage is Mark chapter 5, and I'm going to begin in verse 24. A large crowd followed Jesus and pressed in on him. Now there was a woman who had been suffering from hemorrhages for 12 years. She had endured much under many physicians and had spent all that she had, and she was no better, but rather grew worse. She had heard about Jesus and came up behind him in the crowd and touched his cloak, for she said, "If I but touch his clothes, I will be made well." Immediately her hemorrhage stopped, and she felt in her body that she was healed of her disease. Immediately aware that power had gone forth from him, Jesus turned about in the crowd and said, "Who touched my clothes?" And his disciples said to him, "You see the crowd pressing in on you. How can you say, 'Who touched me?'" He looked all around to see who had done it. But the woman, knowing what had happened to her, came in fear and trembling, fell down before him, and told him the whole truth. He said to her, "Daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in peace and be healed of your disease." Maybe you know people like this. Maybe you are one of these people who has sought healing and has gone to doctors and tried alternative therapies and diets and experimental treatments. I think of the people that I know who have gone through this, spent years and years fighting a disease that just doesn't seem to go away. And it's not easy. And doesn't always end like it did for this woman. For this woman, she believed that Jesus was the alternative therapy she needed. There's a healer walking around, and if I just touch his cloak, I'm going to be made well. And it turns out she was right. And she was healed. But Jesus offers more than just the physical healing. He desires that relationship. He notices something has happened. Power has gone out from him. And asks who has done this. And this woman who has seen Jesus just as a conduit for healing comes clean. Says, "It was me. I did this. I took the power from you. I was healed of my own volition, not yours." And Jesus' volition then comes into play. Your faith has made you well. Jesus is gracious in offering to this woman what she wanted to take for herself without that relationship, without anybody knowing. She just wanted to be healed. And that's what Jesus offers her. But he offers it to her in community and in relationship with him. And so Jesus invites her into a new kind of life and offers her healing not just for her physical disease, but for her soul that has been cut off from her community, that has been cut off from the people around her, that has been just mired in shame and embarrassment. And Jesus offers her new life for that as well. I hope that Jesus can offer you some new life, and that Jesus can provide you or the people that you are thinking of with the healing that you need. Would you join me in prayer? God, when one of us hungers, make it our instinct to feed. When one of us is displaced, make it our instinct to share our home. When one of us is sick, make it our instinct to provide comfort and healing where possible. When one of us is called illegal, make it our instinct to advocate for our sister's rights. May we find our peace in the peace of the places to which you have called us. Amen. Have a blessed day.